Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Touching Grass. And still a bit snowy out here, still a bit snowy, but it's mostly gone. So I'm continuing in my quest to find wild garlic. As mentioned in previous videos, I already know where there is a load and it started growing. But it was really small. I did harvest a few leaves, but it wasn't really anything significant and I couldn't really do anything with them. I ended up just shredding them and putting them in a salad. So yeah, I'm going to go down, I'm going to see if I can find any, and this is actually our first spot down here. Well, there's plenty of bluebell coming up through, but no wild garlic, so let's carry on and we'll look at our next location to see what sort of crack is. Aha! So here we've got a little bit of wild garlic. That's very young, so we know it's wild garlic because we can see down there each leaf has its own fixture point, so that's one of our identifying factors. There is another plant called Arum maculatum, or lords and ladies, and that's toxic, and when it's young it can look similar. When they get bigger they have arrowhead leaves. I'll try and find one for comparison, but yeah, we've got, there you go, that's a tree in my face. We've got more of it. I mean, only little tiny bits, unfortunately, but I'll carry on looking. I'll see if I can find more. Alright, here we are then, guys. This is Arum italicum, not italicum, Arum maculatum. So this is the lords and ladies I was telling you about. As you can see, it's got an arrow-shaped leaf. So once they've kind of grown a bit, you can distinguish these from wild garlic, but as they're shooting there, as you can probably see, they kind of look similar at the base. Now, as I said earlier, wild garlic grows one leaf to a stem, and this has three and a fourth coming out of the centre, so we know this isn't wild garlic. Please do avoid picking this. It will fuck you up if you don't watch out. Right, so I've actually found, this isn't a whole shed load, but there should be enough here to satisfy my needs. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest a few of these leaves. I'm only going to take one or two from each one, and I'm only going to take some of the larger leaves. I'll let the younger leaves grow out. And I'm also going to be careful of that dog's mercury there, because you don't want to be eating any dog's mercury. So yeah, I'm going to pick some of those. Right, so there's a few to at least talk about. So, if you're unsure if you've gotten wild garlic, just, you know, like I said earlier, make sure that they're one leaf coming out of one shoot. And if you're unsure, just crush it and smell it, and that smells exactly like garlic. Pretty much anything, I say pretty much, anything that smells like garlic in the UK is edible. So it's a very, very, very good identifying factor to make sure that what you are picking, you actually can eat. Oh, it's so lovely though. Right, so I'm going to carry on picking some more, head home, and then I think it's pretty basic, but I'm just going to make some compound garlic butter with this stuff. It's a lovely accompaniment to anything, and it's just tastes of spring. So yeah, I'll pick a few more of those and go make some butter. So I've got my cream, and I'm just going to stick my freshly washed hand in, give this a tickle, and it should turn into butter. I'm hoping with the fire that's going to impart some smoky flavour onto it, but here we go. So I learnt this from Atomic Shrimp. You should go and have a look at his video if you want a more in-depth look at this. But essentially it's theorised this is how it that was done in the Iron Age. There's no proof, but I mean, if you've got a hand and you've got some cream, you can make butter. So it's safe to assume that they use this technique. Now, I've got quite a lot of cream in here, probably more than I should, so this is probably going to take me a while. It's also not completely at room temp. So all I'm doing is just beating my hand into this cream. It's literally all it is. I have done this once before and it did take a while because I used quite a lot of cream. Well, go on, Crow. This is definitely feeling thicker now than it should be. It's been going for about, what, 5-6 minutes? Yeah, I think this is just on the verge of starting to come together properly. Well, we're definitely at soft peaks. God, my arm is starting to kill. Yeah, so we're getting to the kind of granular stage now. Yeah, it's starting to feel a little bit wet now, so I think we're about to start getting the buttermilk. And there we go. So, now, you can't really see that, but we're starting to get the buttermilk. So I'm going to squeeze as much of this buttermilk out as I can, because I'd like this to be shelf stable as possible. Right, and I'll put that aside, or I'll put it down here. And this is our ball of butter. Look at that. So I'm going to give this a wash in this water, just to try and get as much, well, more of the buttermilk out. And there we are, handmade butter. So I'm going to take all of this inside now and we'll get on with the next part. Right, so from our 600 ml of cream, we got 292 grams of butter, and that says 230 grams, but obviously that's got pot's going to be something, so let's say 200 grams of that. So yeah, not a bad yield. Now what I'm going to be doing is going to get my wild garlic, going to get some chilies, and we'll make this compound butter. This is my haul of wild garlic. Well, actually, let's have a weigh and see how much is there. Okay, so we haven't got as much as I was hoping. So we've got about 20 grams there. So what I'm going to do now, lay these on top of each other and then give them a good chiffonade, I believe is the term. Let's get a few like that. Roll them up like a fat doobie. Let's start from this end. Get rid of that, and then oh, you can smell that garlic, man. Alright, and then we have some lovely shreds of garlic. So I'm going to do that with the rest of it. We'll put that aside and then we'll finally dice the chilies. Alright, so I've got all of my lovely, freshly shredded ramsons. I'm going to put a very finely diced red chilli in there. And get rid of all those seeds because we don't need them. So yeah, we're going to very finely dice this. Alright, so that's in a lovely strands there. So now just completely mince it. And there, lovely chopped chilli. So mix that in just here. And isn't that a lovely mix of colour there? Absolutely gorgeous. It's so fresh as well, man. Right, so I've washed this board off. It's totally dry. Fadoosh! Chunk of butter. So I'm going to get... They're not exactly traditional paddles, but you know... In fact, let's do this in two, shall we? That'll be a bit easier. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to spread this out, and I don't know if this is correct. This is just feels like the right way to do it. Is to spread this out. Like so. And then I'm just going to give this a twiddle with my hands just to mix it up a little bit. And then I'll take about half of it. Let's break that up a bit. Give it a season with some salt. And now, kind of just fold it in on itself. Now I've got a nice little sandwich, and just smush it back out again. And really just work it, like all that herb in, all those chilies. Huh. Right, okay, right, I'll carry on with one then. Oh, something always happens. I'm either breaking a bottle, falling it down a fucking bog. Now I've just broken a goddamn spatula. GG, Cody, GG. Right, that's the first one done. I'm going to do the second one. Yeah, I'm just going to mix this in by hand now. Anything for it, really. Right, and there we have our ball of compound butter. Now, you can put that on steak, you can make chicken Kievs with it. There is so much you can do with this butter. So we've gotten as much buttermilk out of that as we possibly can. So it's not going to be shelf stable, however it should last a couple of weeks. You can freeze it and it will last. So what I'm going to do with that now is I'm going to get some cling film and we'll wrap it up. There we go. So we've got a cling film. Smash that into the centre. Try and give it some kind of form. And squash it in, make it a proper shape. Wash your hands for the 75th time. Now what we're going to do is, again, there's a theme to today. We're going to roll that like a doobie. Get it up nice and tight. Now we can see we've got quite definite gaps at the definite end. So you pinch that and roll it. And there we have a lovely compact sausage of compound wild garlic, handmade, hand-churned chili butter. Right then, folks, the grill is on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a kind of like a grilled ham sandwich with using the butter. But I'm gonna split one of these, toast it under the grill, and then put the butter on and let it melt through, and just make a sandwich with that, and then that'll be my lunch because I'm very hungry. Right, so I've just sliced off a nice big old wedge of that butter. I'm going to get my cob under the grill. 1, 2, right, so there and there, that's very toasty. So they'll get done, and we'll get this butter spread on, see how it does. Alright then, that cob's getting nice and browned now, so Let's assemble this bad boy. Alright, here we are. So I ended up toasting the top with the butter on because it definitely needed it. But I'll tell you what, it looks great. It smells fantastic. Alright, please excuse any weird faces or noises I make while I eat this. But yeah, let's give this a taste. Mmm. Oh, holy. Mmm. So using fresh garlic, sorry, fresh wild garlic, it's a much more mellower flavour, but it's no less delicious. It's really nice. It's a really delicate but still quite strong flavour of garlic, and because it's fresh, you do get a bit of a vegetable taste with it, which is, you know, not a kind of bad vegetable taste. God, that's really good. The addition of that chilli as well just gives it a little kick, and the salt really just brings everything together. So that's about it. I went out today with the intention of just foraging some wild garlic, and ended up hand churning my own wild garlic, hand foraged, hand churned wild garlic butter with a chilli from the co-op. We won't tell anyone about that. Anyway, thank you very much for staying in with me on this one. There's quite a lot of it in the house today. Yeah, thank you very much. If you've got any questions about foraging wild garlic, please leave them down in the comments. I'll link a few videos from other creators on wild garlic, and I will link the atomic shrimp video on how to hand churn butter, because he explains it much better than I do. So, love you, leave you, take care, see you in a bit. I'll tell you what, those baps are really nice and soft. Like, cheers Julia, you got some cracking baps.